Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I will be setting you up to watch episode 4 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But before we do that, we will go over everything that happened in episode 3. Alright, so spoiler alert for basically just anything that's happened in this show so far, and maybe a few other things MCU related, but you should know that. I just always put this here. Just for anyone who needs to catch up. Alright, like I said, we're going to go over what happened in episode 3. We start with Walker confronting the safe house and the guy in charge who was very friendly to the Flag Smashers and just offered them a lot of hospitality, and he refused to talk, and you can kind of see Walker, the kind of his mean side and how he just gets easily pissed off. But yeah, so that's the opening scene, and then we go back to Bucky and Sam. Bucky wants to break Zemo out of prison, but Sam is very against it. But Bucky knows what's at stake and knows that they need a lead on where to find the super soldier serum. They're not necessarily after the Flag Smashers. They're really just trying to prevent further distribution of the super soldier serum. And they know Zemo has a lot of intel on that. But neither of them really trust Zemo. They're just kind of giving him a temporary chance at by letting him help them. So they go to Madripoor, and they kind of each have to put on a different persona. Sam is kind of disguised as this one guy, and Bucky is kind of disguised as his past self, who is easily controllable and almost like Zemo's slave in terms of fighting people. But yeah, they ask Selby about where to find the serum. She gives them a tip on Wilfred Nagel, who is the like I said in the last video, the scientist who kept producing the super soldier serum after it kind of became outdated. But so Selby gets killed, and they're blamed for her death, and so a bounty is set out on Sam and Bucky and Zemo, so they have to run for it, and then Sharon saves them and takes them to a safe house. Hopefully you know a little bit about Sharon. I kind of talked about her in the last video, but she's gone through a lot, and her character has really changed in the past few years. But now she's a new ally, but she's also kind of not exactly she's also not exactly the friendly she was many years ago. So she saves them, and eventually they go find the doctor who is creating all the serums. And what he says basically is that he was able to keep producing them because he got a sample of Isaiah Bradley's DNA. And then what happened after that, after he created several samples, Carly Morgenthau of the Flag Smashers stole them, and that's how they got into their criminal activity, and that's why they're the main antagonists of this series so far. But eventually Zemo kills Wilfred Nagel, and they need to make a run for it because, well, outside, Sharon, during the whole interrogation, she was busy fighting the bounty hunters who were still after them for the death of Selby. But they kind of finish him off, and it kind of takes a big explosion to do that. But what's done is done, and they need to move to new ground. Sharon departs from them, but Sam, Bucky, and Zemo continue. They go to somewhere else in Europe, to another safe house, and Bucky knows that something's up. He runs into Io, who is part of the Dora Milaje. And essentially what the Dora Milaje is, some people part of it are Io and Okoye, names you might have heard depending on how much Marvel content you've watched, but they are the bodyguards for Black Panther, or really whoever is the king of Wakanda. It's like his own secret service, but also they were protecting the father of Black Panther, uh, whose name is T'Chaka, and back in 2016 was when Bucky was framed for the death of T'Chaka, but eventually the word got out that it was actually Zemo who was responsible. So they want revenge for that, and that's why Io shows up. She wants to Zemo just taken care of, and that just explains her appearance at the end of the episode. Uh, the GRC, the Global Repatriation Council, it's really just designed to help those who were displaced during the blip, but there's there's some flaws within how it's going about all that, and that's exactly why the Flag Smashers started. They're deporting a lot of these refugees when really they should just be given a little bit more of a chance to have jobs. I guess what really bothers Carly Morgenthau is how there's a there's not a lot of help being offered to those who were not blipped away for those 5 years. Um, and all of the focus is on those who returned. But yeah, that's it showed that commercial toward the beginning of the episode, but it wasn't really like those you might have seen if you watched WandaVision. Then this wasn't exactly the same kind of thing, but it just kind of gave you an idea of what it was. But you can see how it's causing a lot of problems. All right, so you are all ready to watch episode 4 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I hope this was informative for you, but yeah, so what we're going to see here is everyone starts to kind of team up and go about their missions. We're going to see a little bit more of John Walker and Lamar Hoskins, and keep asking yourself who is this power broker person, because they have been responsible for quite a lot of this plot. But yeah, don't overcomplicate it for yourself. Really, just this is a pretty exciting episode in my opinion. It's takes a kind of a dark twist at the end, but yeah, it'll all unfold eventually, right? We're let's see, this is 4 out of 6, so once you're done with this one, you'll be 2/3 of the way there, and yeah, you'll just hopefully just keep watching, keep enjoying it. Hope you are so far. I will see you in the next video where I will go over what happens in episode 4, and I will give you a little bit of context for episode 5. All right, see ya.